Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this webinar. My name is Diana Sanato. I work in the Marketing and Communications Department at Robotics, and I'll be one of your co-hosts tonight. We know RFID is a really hot topic, so we're going to drive you through this webinar with some specific questions. But please feel free to use the Q&A box in Zoom to ask your questions that we will address by the end of the presentation. We are really excited to have this conversation, especially because we have some important guests with us tonight, Celia from Decathlon, and also Dean from SML, and Alex from Robotics as well. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Diana. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Alex Fon. I'm account manager at Robotics. And today we're going to talk about RFID and robotics. So we're going to talk about our StockBot, our RFID solution that is ideal for environment that are focused on inventory management and loss prevention.
Nice. So before we dive in, let's set the stage a little bit. If someone stopped you in the middle of the street and asked you, what is Robotics and why should I care? What would you say?
I think it's a good question to start with. What is PAL? What is PAL Robotics? PAL Robotics is a leading robotics company based in Barcelona. We're specialized in creating different kind of advanced robotics for different industries. These industries come from manufacturing, retail, healthcare, research, amongst others. And we are well known for our state-of-the-art robots. As you can see, we are at the end creating and designing robots for humanoids, also mobile-based, mobile robotics. We have 20 years already. In fact, this year is our 20th anniversary, 20 years of experience, 20 years in the market working already. And we maintain, we are driving the future of robotics, the present and the future of robotics. We maintain the strong focus on our quality, reliability, and customer satisfaction.
Okay, so since RFID technology is at the center of this conversation, let's maybe explain what the technology is in a few words so we can all be on the same page. And why is RFID such a game changer for retail?
Yeah. RFID stands for radio frequency identification. So it's basically a wireless technology that uses radio wave to identify and track tags attached to objects. So every RFID tag, it's unique, and it has a small chip and a small antenna inside that is used for transmit this data that this tag contains inside. This makes this enables RFID to have a fast, accurate, and efficient way for asset tracking and inventory management. There are many advantages of using RFID against other technologies. They are usually compared to barcode. So why should I use RFID instead of barcode? No, that's a very common question. And we're going to talk about some of the advantages today. The first one is the speed and efficiency. RFID tags can be read automatically and in bulk. So that means that hundreds of tags can be scanned at once. And of course, it has a high impact on the operational task that a store can have, for example. It reduces the time of doing cycle counts, and the time and labor involved, of course, decrease a lot thanks to this technology. Mm-hmm. Another important advantage is the enhanced accuracy that you can get by using this technology. As multiple tags can be read automatically, and it's not necessary to be aligned with these tags to scan them. This lowers a lot the chance of human error. Another one, increased range. RFID tags can be read from several meters away, depending, of course, on the type of tag that you're using and the type of reader that you're using. But there are evidence that the tag can be read from more than 20 meters away. And finally, the data capacity. As I said at the beginning, RFID tag contains information and can contain more information than a barcode. This information, if we take, for example, a tissue, we can store information like the origin of this tissue, where it was made of, the components that compose this t-shirt, life cycle, and add any other additional information that you want to have. With all of this, we always say that in environment and facilities that they want and they need to have a strong focus on this loss prevention, inventory management. RFID can streamline your operations, can improve your accuracy, and finally can enhance the efficiency of your environment.
Excellent. So now that it's clear for everyone and we're all on the same page, let's start talking a little bit more about StockBot. What do you think it makes it stand out, and how do you think that combining RFID technology and robots, where can that bring us?
Yeah, just to give a little bit of context to begin situation, StockBot is a solution that has been already implemented in 14 countries around the world. This country includes the US, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. Well, I started saying that company, PAL Robotics is a company, it's a 20 years company, already 20 years in the market. So StockBot is at half of the life of this company. It's 10 years already from the first concept. So we can say it's a major solution. At the end, what it is a combination of our expertise in robotics with this RFID technology that we have been seeing so far. At the end, it's an AMR. AMR stands for Autonomous Mobile Robot. So it's a mobile robot, a mobile base that has RFID devices inside. These devices are antennas. It has 8 antennas in total, RFID antennas, 4 per side, connected to 1 or 2 RFID readers. And it has also sensors. Sensors are very important for this autonomous part, for navigation autonomously. It has 2 3D cameras at the top and one laser at the bottom. With this combination, we can conclude that StockBot is a perfect fit for environments like retail stores or multi-product stores, warehouse, or at the end, any kind of environment that has RFID in place. And this can be from a data center, for example, an airport, a factory, bookstore, libraries, many use cases, many industries that are currently using RFID.
Okay, so this is really impressive, but let's get more practical. Where exactly can we use StockBot, and where do you see the true value coming from using it?
Yeah, for me personally, I think it's the main question, the most important question. Where can I use StockBot? Where can I find this StockBot, this platform working? Well, there are several use cases that we've been exploring with this solution. The most common one, the old one, I always say it's the one that this product was designed for, exactly, is the autonomous inventory. The autonomous inventory is basically that the robot is moving around a store, for example, or around any kind of facility that has RFID, and is scanning all the tags or the products that are in the place in the facility. After that, it gathers all the data, all the tags that it has read, and it shares this data to the customer's cloud, the ERP, the WMS, or any platform that the customer is using.
But this is not the only use, right?
No, this is not the only use. Well, and the good thing of that is that you can increase the repeatability of your inventory checks. Of course, it will have an impact in the on-shelf availability of your store, for example. And also you can also run partial inventories in your store. Apart from running a full cycle count, let's take an example of a store that has man, woman, and kids. You can run partial inventories for every single zone. And as you were saying, Diana, there's also another important use case that is especially in retail, is the portal inventory. What we call it portal inventory is basically validating the orders that the store receives at some point, and to check that these orders are correct or not. So another assumption, a store receives replenishment every morning from Monday to Saturday at 9 a.m. So when it reaches this time, the robot will move automatically next to the backstore and will scan every movement that comes from the backstore to the sales floor, or the other way around if it's necessary. Why are we also mentioning that? Here, what we want to highlight is that StockBot can be used for different things. The same platform you can explode more than one use case instead of investing in other RFID infrastructure, in other hardware like cards, handhelds. You can use StockBot for doing that.
So that's fascinating, but I have a specific question for you. The other day I was in a store and I was looking for a specific t-shirt. The person that helped me said, hey, I can see in the system, but I'm not sure where this piece of clothing is. In that specific sense, do you think StockBot could help me?
Yeah, and that is good because I think that most of the people that we're here at least have suffered this situation at least once. I think it's very common, no?
And annoying.
And annoying, yeah, and annoying. That's it. And yes, StockBot it's for me it's the added value of this solution. No, apart from the autonomous inventory and the other use case, for me this is the added value of this solution. StockBot can classify data by the product data that you want to have. No? Imagine that you're using SKUs, AAMs. You can classify by this family reference, any family reference that you are using. There are a lot of business case inside this global concept of item positioning. The first one is the click and collect. So if you want to rely on the stock of your store rather than send it from your DC, from your distribution center, you can prepare orders in a fast way thanks to this item position. Another thing, check misplaced items, and this is very related to what you mentioned, Diana. No? I imagine, let's take a t-shirt again. No, we have the same t-shirt. According to the system, there are 5 units, but I can only see 4. Where is the one remaining? No, where is it? So thanks to StockBot, you can easily check it out. Another important business case, the money mapping. No? Another assumption. Let's take another example. We have the same item in 2 different parts of the store. No, on hangers, for example, and in another side of the store we have folded, and we want to know where the revenue is coming from. You can cross-reference the locations and the sales of these locations with the current locations and to check
which one is making more money.
That's it. And last but not least, we have the software shielding, and the software shielding is basically distinguish what you have in your back store and what you have in your sales floor. And the idea here is to optimize the stock of your warehouse, of your back store, your back room, in order to check that in no case you have something in your back store that you should have in your sales store, and you are at the end losing sales because you could be selling something if you have it in your point of sale.
Yes, excellent. So there are plenty of hardware solutions for reading RFID in the market, but what do you think is unique about StockBot?
For me, the best thing about the StockBot is this autonomous platform. It's totally autonomously. It never gets tired, and at the end, you can explore many use cases that we have seen. So it's a multifunctional platform. That is one of the main things. Another important thing, it's safe around people. So as I said, it can work with customers, it can work with workers, it has sensors to do that. So that means that it can work 24/7, as many times as you want. The installation is simple, so it's one-day installation. It's really easy to set it up. There's no need of cabling or additional stuff. And the ROI, that is the most common question, what we can say is that is low. Of course, depends a lot on the kind of environment that you want to implement it. Of course, it's not the same a warehouse than a store.
Depends on the context of the retailer.
On the context, the number of EPCs, the numbers of use cases that you want to explore, well, the size, a lot of things. But what we usually say is that we sit down with the people who are interested, the companies who are interested in testing and in implementing this solution, and try to offer and to find the best fit for them.
So speaking of other solutions that we were talking before, imagine I am a retailer and I already have some hardware methods of reading the RFID tags that I have in my store. can they be easily integrated with StockBot if I don't want to get rid of the systems that I already have in place? And how easy is to do this integration?
Yeah, that's a good. I think it's a good question, and I want to remark that because sometimes people think that StockBot is a unique solution. No, it's not. I mean, you can use a StockBot and you can use other hardware solutions. Let's take an example. If you want to run a full store inventory, you can use StockBot. But if you want to run you can do small checks, strip scans. You can use handheld, for example. Or let's take another example. In a backstore, you can use the overheads, the fixed readers, and at the same time, you can use it the sales floor, the StockBot, no, the robot. They are totally compatible. And with the software, well, we will have Dean from SML that will give you
explain better
than me. Yeah. The idea here is that, well, we are in contact with this community. We're part of the RFID community. We have a lot of partners involved, and we try to offer a global solution to them, a 360 solution to all of them. That is our main idea.
Excellent. So we can see from all you share that this is a very perfect solution for retail. But let's talk about other industries going beyond the store floor. What other environments do you think StockBot could work?
Typically, RFID implementation starts in retail stores. Well, there are from many years ago they started implementing RFID. Some of the brands, the big brands, but now there's been a big increase in the distribution centers and warehouse. And StockBot is a perfect fit, especially for low ceiling warehouses, less than 2 meters. What we call picking warehouses. No? Here, what StockBot is doing is checking every location if the stock in every location is the proper one or not. So basically checking if there are overs or unders in each location. This either increase the reliability of your stock at the end, thanks to this combination of autonomous inventory and item positioning, but also reduce the time of these physical checks or audit, depending on the wording that you're using, but the audit checks that the company have to do.
You were talking about warehouses, and I have a specific question. What if the warehouses that we're talking about have higher heights than the picking warehouses, for example? Is StockBot ready for this kind of environments?
Well, one thing that characterizes PAL is that we are flexible and we try to adapt always to our customers. We try to offer ad hoc solutions to them in order to be able to fit their requirements. And of course, one of these requirements are sometimes what you mentioned, no? To be able to read at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 meters, for example. And we have done in the past, and we are actually doing nowadays. So we are able to turn the height of the antennas to reach these high level shelves. Yeah.
Impressive. So if you look at the future, how do you see StockBot evolving? In which directions?
I think that StockBot, well, we will always work on the direction of the market. So we will always listen to what our customers and the RFID community have to say, and we will listening to them carefully. We will always work to increase our current capabilities. That's definitely a must, and we will increase and explore new capabilities. And I'm pretty sure that the RFID, as is currently spreading around many industries, new industries that maybe 2 years ago we have not imagined. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that StockBot will be present also in these new industries as well as RFID.
Exciting. So I think you got most of my questions answered and covered, but now we want to hear from people that are actually using the technology. Hello, Celia and Dean. We're very happy to have you here and learn from you. Celia, maybe we can start with you. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your work at Decathlon?
Yes, of course. So, hello everyone. I'm Celia. I am a senior product manager at Decathlon. I am in charge of the robotic in stores. And the first step in terms of robotic in store was with the Pal robotic robot. We started to work with it in 2018 with first test of robots in Asia, and we deployed the solution in a lot of store. So I think almost 120 now in more than 11 countries.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit more because we're curious to understand the backstory of this. What does it mean for a company like Decathlon to work with robots?
So when we started with this type of solution, it was really to test a new solution and of course to keep innovate and stay ahead of the competition, because we already had a lot of solution and process based on RFID in our store, like the caching or thing like that. And we already start to automate the inventory, but we wanted to move forward on this topic and free up the time of our teammate to invest really in the excellence of the relationship with our customers. So the idea was really to improve the inventory process in store as a first step with the robotic in store, and of course to ensure the quality of the process, to have more precision and accelerate the action. The idea was really to have each time the perfect gesture in store, and the idea was that with the robot we will be able to do that. Currently, the first use cases that we have done with the RFID robot is mainly focused on the inventory parts. So the idea is really to not have our team in store to do all the counting of the product and accelerate this part. And like that, we are able to reduce for almost 30% the time spent by the team in store to do the inventory.
Excellent. Sorry, I interrupted you there. Now tell me a little bit, how does the staff feel having a robot as a coworker? How's the relationship?
At the beginning, it was a little bit complicated because it is always basically the team in store do not used to have this type of solution in store. So we have done a lot of change management to help them to accept the solution and really explain the objective and why this solution was there. And it was really interesting for them because we start with a non-added value activities in store, which is the inventory, and now we start to offer them new solutions thanks to the robotic robots and the localization of the product in store. And like that, they are able to find more and more advantage to this solution because we are able to give them allow them to do new analyses and create new use case, such as the location of the cells in the store, like that they are able to be more efficient in the definition of the layouts, or they are able to find where the products are, and if they lost something, it's easier for them to find it. So it is really an assistant for our team in stock.
Yeah, it's a process not to get it all flowing. Excellent, thank you. Now, Dean, we really want to hear from you because we think you can bring a different perspective to this. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit of your job description at SML?
You bet. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, I'm Dean Frew. I'm president of SML Intelligent Inventory Solutions, which is our software division, running all of our RFID projects. We currently have 8,000 stores live around the world and manage over 600 million RFID tag reads a week. And clearly inventory has already been mentioned is the fundamental use case, and we've been working with Pal Robotics for 3 years now, I believe.
Excellent. So how does your software help retailers make use of all the data that StockBot is gathering?
Yeah, I mean, when the industry started 10 plus years ago, it was all about just getting inventory. And what's happened now is that inventory accuracy that comes in through a handheld, a fixed reader, or a robot in this case is actioning operational processes, things like replenishment from back to front, things like picking items for knowing what you have so that you can pick items for markdown, like buy online, pick up in store orders because you know what you have. And so what's happened over time is this fundamental element of having good inventory accuracy is leading toward a whole new set of actionable items, actionable tasks, if you will, in a store, and is fundamental. And but clearly, as Celia has also mentioned, what the robot allows us to do is it allows us to do stock counts in the middle of the night without humans being in the loop. And as we see in many regions of the world, labor to do those kind of tasks is becoming more and more difficult to achieve. We want our people that we're training in the stores for our customers to be selling things, not doing tasks like counting. And item level RFID, everything revolves around having good inventory accuracy. So from that, I can now do a better job of committing an order to Celia when she orders something in an H&M store, or I can do a markdown more effectively because I know what's in the store.
Excellent. So we can see it's also like an evolving landscape, no? Things that the robot can do keep evolving. So talking about this, how easily it is to integrate a software like Clarity to a robot?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting journey. We built our own robot years ago. And what we found is that we needed somebody to build a robot that has an API layer that we can easily integrate to. And instead of developing that on our own, and think about it as we've built a platform called Clarity, it has a set of APIs to receive stock count information. And that stock count information needs to be something that's scalable through an API layer. And the folks at PAL had gone through and done that and made it relatively simple for us to look at this as if we were getting a handheld cycle count. And more importantly, for us to be able to send messages down to the robot to say, you're not finished yet in children's, go back and read children's, because we didn't reach the acceptable level of inventory accuracy or completeness. So again, I think the team, I mean, clearly the PAL team is an extremely strong technical background who thinks that way. They think about the users and the ecosystem partners that are going to be involved in the process in stores.
Great, and so thank you. It's very good to hear from people that actually know very well what they're talking about. We have a long list of questions to Dean, Celia, and Alex, but maybe we should start with this one. Maybe Celia can be in screen as well, so we can ask you guys at the same time. Celia, this is specifically for you. Do you foresee expanding the use of StockBot to more stores or deploying additional robotic solutions?
I would say both, because the idea is really to be able to exploit as much as possible the StockBot solution. And currently, I think that we only use only a really small part of what the robot is able to do currently. So it's important in terms of return of investment to be able to create as many use cases as possible. For example, with the location of the product in store, but we also know that there are cameras on the robot, and maybe there are some things to do with that also. And the idea also is to be able to manage an ecosystem of robots, because currently, for example, for Decathlon in our store, we know that the team in store spend around 30% of their time to do business, so to really sell products, and 70% to do something else. And our objective is really to invest have something else, to have more 70% of sales and 30% only to do other activities. So to do that, we need to be able to reduce the time spent on other activities. For example, when you take back the product from the fitting room or things like that, and robots will be able to do this type of things in store. So it is more an ecosystem of solution that will help us to do that, but we need to be really careful to not have only robots in store also. So it is a tiny space to be the more efficient as possible.
Excellent. You said something interesting. You said like creating an ecosystem of robots. No, so Dean, one thing that I would like to ask you, how do you see the role of robots like StockBot in the RFID retail landscape over maybe the next 3 to 5 years? What do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, clearly it has a significant set of advantages over handheld and fixed infrastructure. And I anticipate as the use continues to be publicized, that it's all about the business case in retail. It's all about getting to a place of saying, this technology can generate a return faster than this technology and involve all of those components. So to me, you know, if we look back 10 years ago, there was a lot of questions about the business case of a handheld solution. And now we've seen that become proven. And I think we're going to see the same thing for a certain set of retailers that have high volume stores. Okay, that require, you know, we've got some customers that have 100,000 items on a floor, and then they have 3 floors of product. And so in that case, there's a lot of labor that's going into doing the stock count. And to me, I think there's going to be a section of the market that is ripe for a return on investment using robots to do inventory. And again, StockBot is something that I think has set a standard that others will try to chase and follow.
Nice, thank you. Now, Alex, we have one for you. How does Paul support customers in training their staff and optimizing StockBot use in stores?
Yeah, I think this is something that Celia also could answer. But yes, what we always try to offer to our customers is to go with there, especially with the people at the end who are going to work with the robot. No, I mean, this is not the senior, the product manager, so on. It's the store staff. Mm-hmm. You know? And we are offering trainings with this installation. We offer an on-site training that is basically explaining how to move the robot in case the robot is stuck or any further information that they need. We try to, as Celia was saying, no, we try to expose many data to them because at the end they are the users. They are the ones who are going to use to explore every day and to explore these capabilities, these features that the robot has. So for us, they are very, very important. We try to give a detailed training on not only on the functionalities, on the things, how to move and so on, but also on the data that this robot is exposing. And for example, with Decathlon, we are working together with the team to give them a full picture of what they can get from the robot or not. Yeah.
Okay. Celia, this one is for you. After all these years working with StockBot, what kind of skills would you like to have in StockBot that you don't have right now? What kind of features of capabilities do you think are still missing?
I think that currently one of the main topics that we are working on with Pal Robotics, and which is really important for us, is about an automatic mapping of the store, because in Decathlon the layout of the store change a lot, almost every 2 months, and we need to update the map of the robot to be sure that the robot cannot get lost in the store. Sometimes it can take time. So I think that it is one of the main features that we will need in the future, is the capacity to adapt more automatically the map of the robot, even if the environment change, and be more efficient on that.
And we are currently working on that.
Exactly.
I know.
Important to mention. Okay, Dean, so this one is directed to you. What do you think are the barriers to a more widespread adoption of robots as RFID readers?
Yeah, I mean, I was shaking my head positively at Celia's comment. I think the whole concept of dynamically mapping a floor is something that will, and I know that Power Robotics is working on it, is something really important. And the second thing is just the overall business case. The cost of a robot, the business model, is it a robot as a service? There's multiple models out there, but it all revolves around the return on investment. And that is, there's no question that RFID works. There's no question that you can get to 98, 99% inventory accuracy. The real question is, what are the techniques you use to do that, and what returns does it bring to you? And I think that, robotics will always be working in concert with handhelds, because handhelds are what cause the human to go do the picking and the tasks that are in place. And so the real challenge comes down to, with the additional cost of a robot, what benefit does it get you? What cost does it overcome? And I think we're going to see, as I mentioned, 10 years ago, our business cases were emerging. I think Decathlon is the pioneer, if you will, in this space as a retailer. And I think they're going to continue to bring other retailers on board, as we're seeing with our own customers, in interest in this. And, it's a product that has a real place, if you will, in the overall ecosystem.
Nice, good answer. Now I want to ask you both this one question. Is there any advice you would give to companies who might be hesitant or thinking about testing robots in their inventory management? Maybe Celia, you can start.
Test it and you will see.
Yes, that's the right answer.
I think it is the best answer, but I think that you need to be, it needs to be clear for you what is your expectation with this type of solution, and what do you want, and what do you want to achieve or not. And for example, for Decathlon, the return of investment was not positive at the beginning, and we defined a clear journey to be able to develop more and more features and achieve the business case of the robot. So it's important to be sure and know exactly what are your expectations and when you want to achieve it, I think.
Yeah. Dean, would you like to give your 2 cents on this?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's apply the technology to the right problem. We see companies that take technology and apply it to every problem they have, and I don't think folks are very successful when they do that. And so I think think through exactly what the real problem is. Don't apply a robot solution to a store that has 2,000 items in it. Apply a robot solution to something that's a high volume, a big problem, and that is, you're having to put 10 people in to do stock counts every morning, or you can't do stock counts every day, even though you want to, because you need that inventory accuracy for your bulbous picking. If you're not doing bulbous, then it might not be the right place for you to do the return on investment. So again, apply the right technology to the right problem.
Nice. Alex, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, well, I think what they both mentioned, it makes totally sense. The main thing that you need to do is to define and to have a clear perspective of, okay, well, if I want to test, why I want to test it. And especially if you want to focus on the item positioning, if you have what Dean was saying, if you have a big environment, okay, maybe it makes more sense to test only the autonomous inventory, but also adding some capabilities. Or if I have a big back store, do I want to test StockBot? Maybe it's a good solution. So I mean, there are a lot of variables that you need to bear in mind and to put it on the table and say, okay, do I want to test this? Do I want to test the other things? And to have a clear ROI then, because if not, it's very difficult. But what we normally do for that, we try to help our customers
Understand
and explore with this business case that are possible, that all the features that are possible from this solution. And we normally set it up with different stages, like a proof of concept, then a pilot, and then eventually, if everything goes right, a potential rollout. That is the current stages that we are normally working together with our customers. And we did that, for example, with Decathlon and also with SML, with other customers.
Okay, this is an endless conversation. We know that we can keep hours and hours talking about this, but we do have to stop at some point. Once again, thank you everyone for being here with us tonight in this webinar. We would love to keep the ball rolling because the questions were super great and helpful. Please follow PAL Retail in LinkedIn. We have a specific page only to talk about the solutions, to talk about what the industry is saying on RFID technology. We would love to have your insights there as well. We will actually share the video from this webinar tomorrow in this page. So if you didn't get the full conversation, if you want to share with someone, it will be there. Alex, thank you for co-hosting this with me today. And I know you have a very big and important message to give to people, so the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you, Diana. Thank you, Dean and Celia, for sharing your knowledge and your experience with RFID. There's been a very important message that what you have said. Thank you, everyone who have joined this webinar, at least at some point. And the question, where can you see it? Where can we meet us? We'll be present. We'll be showcasing some demos in NRF, New York City, the beginning of January.
From the 12th to the 14th.
You know it better than me. From the 12th to the 14th
of January. Yes.
We'll be there. So I hope to see most of you there and to meet on site. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Celia.
Celia.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good job. Yep.
Thank you. Bye.